Hi, everybody. My name is Dr. Cary Ganz. I'm a cosmetic dentist at prosthodontist here in Garden City, New York, directly across from Roosevelt Field from the new Neiman Marcus. If you want to reach me, you can reach me at 516-741-1230. If you have any questions about what I'm going to talk about now. I do these typically in the morning because I get here early before my first patient. And I just try to answer questions that came up the day before or on the phone or whatever. And last night I had a patient come in and who had a lot of crowns, caps. And a crown and a cap are basically the same thing. And he had these caps that were done many, many years ago. And the thing that bothered him the most wasn't that they didn't fit any longer, because they seemed, I at that point didn't know whether they did or they didn't, but he hated the dark collar around the gum tissue. And he didn't know what to do about it. When he smiled, all he saw anyway was these metal collars, this dark ring at the gum line, and it showed up in pictures, and he just wasn't happy. He thought this was, normal and the best that could be done. And so I had to explain to him that whether the crowns were still fitting or not was not the question. That chances are what he was looking at was the metal collar around the crowns that had been made many years ago. Because years ago, the only way we could restore or fix back teeth was with a metal crown covered by porcelain. And the very edge of that metal crown very often would end up showing because the gums would recede a little bit. And if the metal of that crown wasn't tucked under the gum, as the gums recede a little bit, you end up seeing a little metal collar. Now, it doesn't mean the crown doesn't fit, because it still may fit tight to the tooth, but cosmetically you see these basically ugly metal rings around your gum tissue. Sometimes you even see the metal shining through the gum, so the gum looks purplish. And that could be that your gums are not healthy, but it also could be that the metal is just showing through. So I tried to explain to him that today, thanks to modern science and thanks to the companies out there that continue to develop great products, we now have all porcelain crowns. So you no longer have to have a metal crown on the back of your mouth. The porcelains today are very, very hard. There's a different porcelain made for the substructure, so it's heated very high in an oven, so it becomes rock hard. You may hear the word zirconium. It's not important what it is, but it's a very, very hard porcelain. And then on top of that, the laboratory bakes a cosmetic porcelain. So you still get the same cosmetics, but you don't need to have the metal. These crowns are not necessarily cemented on, they're bonded to your teeth. And there are various procedures we go through to make these crowns adhere to your tooth structure. So you get a very good seal and a long-lasting restoration. So the reality is you no longer have to have metal crowns, for the most part, in the back of your mouth. Even small bridges, if you're missing one tooth and you have to have a small bridge made, we can make those out of all porcelain, because we now have these porcelains are so strong that we can actually connect them together and make a bridge. You can have a cap on one tooth, a cap on a second tooth, and the tooth in the middle can be built and connected to the two other caps, and all done in porcelain. So even with a small bridge, or sometimes even a little bit bigger bridges, you can have the same cosmetics and not have to worry about that gold collar showing as your gums may recede a little bit over time. So I explained to him that now whether this was more in his mouth, it was a cosmetic issue, it wasn't a functional issue. The crowns were still functioning, but that if he wanted to replace any or all of them, it could be done now with all porcelain restorations. And it's important for you to understand that. Cosmetics is important. Now, as dentists, we deal with function, we deal with health, but we deal with cosmetics. And if you're smiling and you're not happy with it, these are relatively easy to replace and can be done in a visit or two. And you don't have to have that metal collar. And that's really all we're going to talk about today, is the availability today of all porcelain restorations, whether it's in the front of your mouth or the back, whether it's small bridges. These can all be done now without the need to have metal. They're lighter, and they're very strong. You can get many, many years of use out of them. So it's a great investment in your health and in the cosmetics that you want and deserve. Anyway, so my name is Dr. Cary Ganz. I'm here in Garden City, New York, 516-741-1230. Hi, John. I'm glad to see someone's joined. I typically broadcast these during the day because a lot of people aren't up and around. It's 8:20 here in New York. If you have any questions or anybody has any questions, just feel free to ask. This will be up on Facebook, and I will try to look back periodically to see if there's any comments. I'd appreciate it if you share this, like it and share it and send it around. The more people that understand what dentistry can do today, it gets rid of some of the myths and some of the misconceptions out there, because unfortunately dentistry is a hidden commodity. People don't really know a lot about it. They're not jumping to get to the dental office. So I like to help promote what I believe anyway to be good dentistry, to be the state of the art, and so that people understand what's available and what they can have done, and that dentistry has grown over the years. It's a growing, dynamic profession. It's not something stuck back in the 50s and 60s. There's not a day that goes by there's not some new material, a new technology, or a new technique that we as dentists have to understand and decide whether we want to utilize it or not. Anyway, once again, Dr. Cary Ganz, 516-741-1230. Have a great day and keep smiling.